Reddit's darkest corners. Let's ride.
Very quick.
Thanks for
The
your sub,
first
Carney
announcement is
in blood.
600,000 subscribers. The last video,
This channel's
I was freaking
popping
out about
off.
500,000. Thank you to all the newcomers that are coming from Critical's channel. First of all, Charlie, thank you so much. I know I told you thank you in DMs, and by the way, guys, the fact that I spoke to
He's such a
Critical,
sweetheart.
literally a dream come true. I
Unironically,
sound like
he's
a
such a
broken
sweetheart.
record, but I feel like let's just go even deeper than the surface. This video will be a little.
You
bit
don't
deeper
want to
because I
go
asked you
deeper
guys
than
over
the
on my
surface on
community tab
Reddit.
to help me out. r/Jizzy cards.
Jizzy cards.
37 members. Oh boy, we're starting off strong with this one. Okay, r/Jizzy cards. If you had to take a guess of what that even meant, go ahead, take a guess.
Alright, I bet I can nail this. I would imagine it's people doing cum tributes on old video game cartridges. I would say it's people that like, I love Ocarina of Time so much, here's the N64 cartridge. Just fucking blast it. That would be my guess.
certain you wouldn't have guessed men ejaculating onto video game cartridges and
But I did. I fucking did.
discs. For fun. Yeah.
Yep, but I
much.
did.
There's only
I know these communities so fucking well. I've never heard of Jizzy Carts. I know this shit so well. Because there's other communities like this. Like I mentioned cum tributes. This is huge for like figurines. It's like U2's. U2's has their own cum tribute community where people will get U2's of their favorite YouTuber or whatever and they'll literally just cum on it. They'll put it in jars and shit. Yeah, it's huge. It's fucking huge. So I knew right away Jizzy Carts had to be video game related. I bet most people go to like shopping carts or something of cum, but I fucking knew exactly where this was gonna go.
the main user posting these images go
Oh,
by.
I want to read the request. What did he want? If it wasn't Donkey Kong 64, they fucked up. That's a cool cartridge. Oh, better yet, Majora's Mask. That had the holographic. Good to see a rareware game being humiliated like this. I would shoot a load on Conker's Bad Fur Day, but I'm low on money at the moment. It costs nothing to ejaculate. Unless you have to put like a quarter in like a jar at your house like for every time you sin. I don't know what you mean. I guess like he has to buy the game.
User snapped fingers. This story begins with the user claiming that they can see things that aren't actually there, like paranormal things, and that they were told by experts on Discord that they have to make a sacrifice.
Experts on Discord, huh?
In order for the interdimensional beings to leave them alone. Discord experts? Like...
That's what I said.
The things they describe.
That's definitely a red
as
flag.
Dark figures, that of Worthless 319, which we already covered on the channel. So make sure to watch that after this video. Eventually,
Wordless 319 was the video we watched. It's about the Redditor who claimed he blew his cock off to save the world with a gun. I'm pretty sure it was all a hoax. I looked into it further after the stream. I'm almost 100% sure that was all just a big, like, ooh, so edgy kind of thing. The pictures weren't even of like a dick that had been shot by a gun. It was just more of like a really deformed, weird wiener. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, that was definitely not like a real thing. But the penectomy shit is real. There are people that do actually cut their cocks and all of that, but it wasn't that Redditor doing it.
Snapped Fingers questions the reality of there being a hell portal in the Paris catacombs and explains that they're booking a flight to put an end to this. Thus, the former limestone mine
Someone got lost in the Paris catacombs and died.
As the catacombs. So yeah, it's a
I think
very
there's like a
good
YouTube
place
video
which you
about
can
it.
actually go visit some of it. I used to run track back when I was in junior high school. I can likely outrun any possessed people. I am excited to finally close this chapter of my life and shut that blasted portal off for good. Now, personally, I do think this person was suffering from schizophrenia. Or, I could be completely wrong, this could be someone just looking for attention. The thing with these Redditor stories...
Most likely attention when on Reddit.
We don't r/coming on figurines.
35. That's what I was just fucking talking about. This is where they'll do like U2's, Marvel figurines, all kinds of shit. I was just talking about that. Yeah, this one's kind of popular. They go kind of wild. All right.
Cum tagging, 2,000 members. But yeah, this was just the guys splurging on objects. Men splurging on objects. I mean, that's it. There's nothing more to explain to that. We have public trash cans, airport toilet paper holders, campus bathrooms.
I actually...
Yeah.
So, I don't know about cum tagging, but I do know... There was a... I don't want to give too much away about the guy. I've talked about it before. We've talked about it before on the podcast. We used to have this thing where we talk to people from the Patreon podcast. And one of the people that was a regular is a U.S. soldier. And he was on a submarine. He was on one of the nuclear subs. So in between his tours, he'd come on to the hangout with us, and he'd always tell us this story, like the stories about like the people on the subs to pass time will literally just like come on things in the sub. I don't know how real that is, or if it was just like his degenerate crew or whatever, but it's apparently like super common, at least on that vessel, because he would talk about it like pretty much every time he came back. Do we have any other like submarine boys in here that can confirm or deny? What episode? No, it was like just hangouts where we just talk to people. It was a while ago. We haven't done that in a couple of years now. I heard living on those is fucking horrible. Oh, it sounds absolutely miserable. Yeah, it sounds true. I can't imagine a worse career than being on a submarine. You can't leave it. You're confined to such tight space, and apparently all your friends are just ejaculating on everything. Sounds terrible.
I found a lot of subreddits that are now archived. They don't exist anymore, right? But we have r/beating women. We have r/r-wording women.
Jesus Christ.
Hate women. We have r/just r-word. I'm not gonna go through what. I mean, you guys can imagine.
Yeah, I can pretty much take a guess.
Look at the suggestions.
Oh my god, what the fuck is this? There's a thing on Reddit where like almost every sub has the same moderators. I wonder if they were mods on here. I imagine at least one or two of them were. There's only like 100 mods on all of Reddit, and they happen to mod every other subreddit on that fucking site. Like there's some mods that are literally a power mod of 100 other different subreddits. Was that first one Tub Girl? I didn't read it.
Pissers gone wild. 1.2 thousand members. We fuck shit up. This community is for the dedicated sink pissers who want to take their game to the next level.
Fuck yeah, finally.
2019. This is a subreddit dedicated to people peeing in sinks.
Finally, my kind of people.
Is pointless at this point. We're
my brethren.
Reddit. And I'm sure some of them are going to watch this. My videos get very popular now, and if I'm offending any of you, I'm sorry. I don't want any of you to fucking pull up to my house and start peeing in my sink.
True, you don't want to fuck with the sink
pissers. It's not like I have a piss kink or anything. I don't. I mean, imagine going to a friend's house and then thinking, oh boy, I can't wait to take a piss in their sink and record it for.
I'm sure everyone's pissed in a sink at least once in their life. Like, let's not mince words.
Make sure to leave a like, and if you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe.
We've all been 2 or 3 Bud Lights deep, 19 years old, and
an extremely sad story.
It's a little wacky.
Last word. r/jailbait. The Urban Dictionary
definition. Oh, that was a big one back in the day.
Female who was under the age of consent.
That shit was fucked.
Acts, and at the time, Eric Martin.
They used it at the front page almost every week.
Subreddits, including jailbait, by claiming that it was one of the side effects of promoting free expression on the web. Reddit administrators took down the subreddit after a user shared a picture of an underage teenager, saying that he had nude photos of her as well. And many users were requesting, you know, send me. Yeah, it's just pretty disgusting stuff.
Yeah, he's underselling how popular that was. Back when I first found Reddit, I would have been, what, a junior in high school? Jailbait was usually on the front page. That was a massive fucking subreddit. That would, what year would that have been? 2011-ish? It was fucking crazy. Yeah, and that was like, for some reason on Reddit, that like was totally normal. And I remember someone made a big hoopla. I don't remember, it might have been r/atheism to be honest, because that was also huge then. Someone made like a huge hoopla, like, why the fuck are we just allowing like open pedophiles on the site? Like, super transparent. And they're like, no, jailbait's fine. Jailbait's good for Reddit, actually. It was like a huge controversy when people were like, we need to get jailbait the fuck out of here. But they fought tooth and nail. That was on there for a long time. Like a really long time, much longer than you'd expect.
Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. Don't click off yet. Don't click off yet.
I knew almost all of those.
People were saying that
he didn't even cover true cells, which is surprising.
And I just cover them in a mediocre way.
Do you guys remember true cells? That was a little bit before the big incel explosion. Wow, most people don't seem to remember it. True cells was basically, they were the progenitor to modern incels. They had a lot of very sad dudes that would post shit like women should be kept on farms and men should be allowed to buy women to fuck them. Like really horrible stuff. Like incel shit before it became mainstream. That one was pretty wild. They had like full websites full of like hundreds of pages where people would like write some real gross shit and their weird view on the world. Oh, that was another one he didn't cover. The sounding subreddit. That actually might still be popping off. I remember the sounding subreddit was pretty wild in its infancy. There was a guy that stuck like a pretty sizable dildo in his cock hole. Of course, it wasn't like full-sized or anything, but it was still like a fucking impressive feat. Yeah, sounding is when you put things in your urethra. And there is a subreddit for it. I'm assuming it's still there. Did it hurt? I don't know, man. I'm not that guy. I would imagine it would. Yeah. I would guess. People keep recommending the Worthless 319. I think I've seen it, but I don't really know. I'll look it up. So chat seems divided on whether or not we've watched this. It sounds really familiar to me, and this time frame seems about right. Definitely haven't seen this one, but I think we've seen this. I don't know, really? Okay, let's see.
Today, I'll cover one of the most disturbing cases ever on Reddit. I also want to give a fair warning. Viewer discretion is advised.
Okay.
It's so unique, I haven't seen anything that comes close to this in terms of authenticity. I also highly discourage you from looking any of this up since it's very graphic and it could potentially haunt you for life.
Is it a toss problem on Twitch, or does he not show anything? Doesn't show anything? Okay.
Some of you might already be familiar with this user since this topic is more or less 3 years old. In the replies, he has a few interactions with people about spirituality.
These are the bits, cryo.
He's afraid of suffering, and people tell him to take it slow and to not read too much into it, but he seems to be unable to do so. But it gets very dark in the replies.
Sounds like the dude from that,
is
like Da Vinci Code that keeps hitting himself with a
and both testicles,
stick,
but roughly 1 inch
like
of the base remains.
Flail or whatever.
Primal instinct, etc., tells me to remove it. The first time I used a gun, now I must use a knife, and it is going to be exceedingly difficult and painful compared to a few trigger pulls. After getting the advice to consider,
he removed his penis with a gun. I mean, that sounds like a lie. That wouldn't even work. That's like that carnival game where you shoot out a star with the BBs. You'd have to do like a full fucking line. Well, I guess you could be using a higher caliber bullet to be actually. I didn't even think of that.
In this post, he goes to length explaining how he circumcised himself, shot his own dick 4 times with a revolver, and then fried and ate it. He also lost his left testicle in the process.
That was a thing on Cannibal Cafe.
Ended up at the hospital. In a different reply, he explains that he sawed his own penis and then ate it. And someone was curious as to how it tasted, and he claims that it tastes like chicken, and that he cut it in half since he almost vomited trying to eat the whole thing.
This seems very
only
fake.
Following God's will, he also is willing to send the images of his doings to people who are doubting him. Against all doubts, OP delivered.
Okay, does he actually, in this video, let me see. Let me make sure he doesn't actually show the pictures if there are any. Before continuing though, I will say, having pictures doesn't necessarily confirm that. You guys remember the BME Pain Olympics where there's the video of the dude cutting his cock off? It's fake. You can fake those things. You can easily, well, easily might not be the right word depending on how the pictures look, but yeah, you can absolutely fake it. He posted the pics. Again, I guess they could be real. It sounds unbelievable. But I guess it is possible. I'm just saying, like with the BME Pain Olympics where everyone's like, can you believe this guy cut his own cock off on camera? That was fake. That is a confirmed fake video. So I'm sure you could also fake pictures too.
Who expressed their doubts.
The way he's talking about it seems like he's fishing for attention. That's the impression I get.
What followed was something that probably no one
It wasn't
expected.
fake? Again, how do people not know this? This was a big deal. The creator of the BME Pain Olympics even came forward saying, yes, that shock video, all of that was fake. Now, it's not everything that the creator has posted being fake, but that video in particular is fake. Because the person behind it, Shannon Larrett, is Devin Larrett's brother. He passed away now, but before then, he did publicly state that it was a fake video. Oh, here we go. Here it is. Here's the article. Yeah, so it is in this interview. It goes over Shannon. I probably can't even show this website. The man responsible for the creation of this site was Shannon Larrett. Shannon was himself one of the first people in the West to have his tongue split and among the first 3 people to ever receive an eyeball tattoo. Shannon's BME website would gain further notoriety after he created a fake but very convincing shock video titled BME Pain Olympics Final Round. I actually didn't know this part. This video originally concluded with a disclaimer noting that the footage was not genuine. However, shortly after being passed around the internet, the disclaimer was removed, leaving many viewers to believe that they were actually watching self-performed castrations and penectomies. Yeah, so that, like I said, that video was fake.
This guy is insane. He made multiple
Very
posts
Jim.
stating that he shot his own penis 4 times.
This has been proven fake. The worthless 319? Alright, hold on. Nah, I'm deep in it now. Where? Like I said, just because there are pictures doesn't mean the pictures are genuine there. And the way he talks about it is literal Reddit, like, attention seeking. There's a whole Reddit about it being debunked. Fuck, okay, I'll have to go to that after, then I don't feel like going that far out of the way now. I'll finish at least getting the lore here.
He basically sees himself as a prophet, receiving direct
Who's
orders
to say
from
he
God
wasn't?
to save mankind. Here's a more
God
detailed
did some
reply
fucked
from
up
him,
shit to the
which
people
goes
that,
more
like,
in depth.
followed him back in the day.
It reads, "It's extremely unpleasant and a daily question why God chose
He's the prime
I'm
punch.
the most average person I can think of."
Oh, he's the
He
hero.
also states that he had visits at insane asylums 5 times. The universe.
Why would you fake
What's also interesting
attention
is
just
that
like
he calls
this?
his doings
People this insane don't type this coherently. It reads like someone trying their best to play the role of
in the
like a
replies
crazy
on another
genital
post where he
mutilating
again
person.
asks for advice. He
It
details
reads
that he
very
uploaded the
fake.
castration.
There still is a chance it's
Now,
not
I
though.
think well, Worthless319 always ignored these concerns.
Damn.
Without any exception.
We tried.
Now, before we proceed, you may be curious as to how he even releases himself. He shares his experiences
Out his butt.
in a reply. It reads,
Redirected
"I'm
it.
sitting down. If
Oh.
you're talking about orgasmic, since I finished castrating myself, I haven't gotten turned on once. Before castration, I had 1 nut. I blew apart my left one. I could come very easily by thought alone." In other posts, he shares his
Whoa.
state of mind. "I especially fear the end of humanity as it approaches. It's inches away. Centimeters.
Goddamn 5G.
No one understands me, especially myself. I called an ambulance after about 5 minutes of listening to music, laying on the ground.
Yeah, this
and
definitely
don't
is
remember
fake.
much of the, and I want to go through a few.
There's a
interactions.
website that shows his deleted Reddit history, not remove edit. Yeah, it doesn't prove that those pictures are either A, real, or B, him. There are people, and I do know this is a thing, I think it's called a penectomy, I think. There are people that have actually cut their cock off online, and there's videos of it. But I don't think this guy was one of them, because he just keeps making Reddit posts like he's an anime villain or something going into a monologue. I don't think this is, like, real. But the actual act of someone cutting their own cock off and shit, that is something that some absolute maniacs have done. Ooh, how deep does it go?
He wanted to end himself by bleeding out of his pelvic area to prevent a conflict between North Korea and the States.
It might have
He took
worked too. We
psychosis
still haven't
inducing
entered into a
substances
conflict.
like DMT and LSD. There were people who were motivating Worthless to further self-mutilate himself in the name of religion. The users doing that deleted their accounts. So, as for information about Worthless,
Charlie, I saw the images. The dude has no dick. Like I said, on the internet, it's called a penectomy. There are people that have literally cut their own cocks off. There was even on this was a big one, the Cannibal Cafe. Cannibal Cafe, what was his name? Armin Minsk, something like that. It was a user on Cannibal Cafe said, "Hey, I want my cock cut off and I want to eat it." Oh, there we go. Armin Muse. On Cannibal Cafe, back in the early 2000s, there was a dude who's like, "I want my cock to be cut off and then eaten. Will anyone oblige?" Someone did, got together, literally cut his dick off, they ate it, he bled out in the bathtub. Like, there are people, and there are real videos and images of people cutting off and mutilating their own cocks. No doubt that exists. What I'm saying is this Reddit user is most likely not the one that is doing what's described or shown in those images. It's very likely he just took some of those stills from the videos or those pictures and is then making this story around this whole thing for attention. Because the way he writes is very much like a Redditor seeking attention. Just going by the way he writes. Again, could be totally wrong. It could genuinely be him. I'm just saying all of this seems super fake. He's making posts in other subreddits like, "Hey, how do I do this? I actually shot my nut off, which is why I'm asking, because I'm trying to save the America from North Korea using LSD, parentheses, God's drug. Again, I shot my nut off and then I castrated myself. I've been bleeding and it's painful, but I'm doing it for you guys. By the way, how do I do this?" Like, it seems like he's fishing for attention at every possible step with his post. That's what it seems like.
You could argue that it's too sensitive to receive media coverage, but that's not necessarily true.
Yeah, it would. It
It's
would
not the
absolutely
first
receive
time
coverage.
that something like that would get reported in Florida.
He's going to bring up
Here,
Cannibal
for
Cafe.
instance, we have a similar case,
Or not.
which received media coverage. You truly need to be fucked up in your head to stick to this for months, making threats and posts and also sharing grotesque images. Goodbye.
That was interesting. Again, I think that whole story is fake. Pictures, probably not, but the story, at least surrounding them with that user, I think definitely are. And luckily, it looks like we have a penis scientist in here. I've seen the pictures. They 100% weren't from him. He claimed to have shot his penis, but most of the pictures were shaved. A burn there would have simply prevented hair growth, at least in some spots. And there's also no wound in the area in any of the pics, just the absent penis. Yeah, I haven't seen the pictures, so I can't really analyze them myself. But I have been playing a lot of LA Noire, so if I do see them, I'll probably be able to get some clues. But I'm not going to do it on stream. The Idaho killer they caught... Oh, yeah. I forgot to look at that. They caught that Idaho killer. Yeah, they finally fucking caught the guy. Man, I tell you, it's always the people you least suspect, right? Oh my god. Yeah, it certainly doesn't look like a fucking weirdo. Yeah, I'm glad they actually got him. I thought for sure he got away with it. He was posting on Reddit about the crime. Wait, what? I didn't read that. Where's the source on that? Here, how about I just Control F Reddit and see if it's even in here? No. Here, what if I do... What we know about... we'll go to this one, I guess. What we know about the suspect arrested in connection with the Idaho college student killings. Jesus, he was a PhD student in the school's criminal justice program. Wow. Thanks to give Subtonian the resub 60. A Reddit post asking about criminal offenses. Wow. So this seems to have been a crucial component here. Koberger was previously an undergraduate and graduate student of I don't know that university, DeSales University, according to a statement on the school's website. DeSales is a Catholic university in Pennsylvania, graduated with a bachelor's in 2020, and then completed his graduate studies for Masters of Arts in Criminal Justice program. In a post that was removed from Reddit after the arrest was made public, a student investigator associated with DeSales University study named Brian Koberger sought participation in a research project to understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime. The now removed Reddit post said, in particular, this study seeks to understand the story behind your most recent criminal offense with an emphasis on your thoughts and feelings throughout your experience. What the fuck? He posted on 4chan earlier this month that he was hiding in the woods in Pennsylvania. The guy is actual lunatic? Well, yeah, obviously, man. He killed 4 people. Of course he's a fucking lunatic. But not every lunatic is a Redditor. Jesus Christ. They eventually narrowed their focus on Koberger after tracing ownership of the Elantra back to him, according to 2 law enforcement sources, and his DNA also matched DNA that was recovered at the crime scene. Huh. He drove across the country in the Elantra and arrived at his parents' house in Pennsylvania around Christmas. Damn, he was not visited by Santa Claus this year. He got coal in his stocking. He was on the naughty list. I cannot believe they actually caught the killer. This really seemed like it was going to be a cold case. Here's the prime leftover in Jib Jab. Super happy to hear that, though. That's great news. Yeah, his next post can be about how prison food makes you feel and the emotions that you experience when eating the gruel. Thanks for some muffin and swizzle. describe what happened. This is about the killing of the 4 students in Idaho. He's a resub, Kirai. What do you mean? Who's Corey Deep? Oh, that's sweet. Thank you, Muffin. Hold on, quick text message. Just give me 1 second. Okay, now I'm back. Thanks, resub, Gravity. And the bits deep. Oh. The Corey Kenshin stuff. No, they'll never mention it. Have you seen the TikTok detective who accused their roommates of what being the University of Idaho killer? Sounds like classic TikTok. Oh yeah, they accused their professor. Thanks, a resub. Knee slap. God, that is such TikTok shit too, man. That's so wild. He's a tier 1 Red Queen. I know who the Idaho University killer is. It's Professor McGonaghy. Source? I just have a feeling. I checked my tarot card readings today, and it pointed me right to the suspect. Isn't the professor suing them now? I fucking hope so. Fuck TikTok detectives. They can suck my dick. Jesus Christ, that is so stupid. I hope the professor's suing them. Might be worse than Twitter detectives. At the very least, I don't see a ton of Twitter detectives doing what the TikTokers do. They'll play like some stupid goddamn music, and they'll dress up and then go over like horrible evidence that's just literal fan fiction with the goddamn text-to-speech on it. It's so much worse. At least when it's a Twitter detective, it's just some text and it's like, yeah, this is stupid. But then TikTok, it's a whole song and dance. He's the resub winner. I hope you enjoyed Doom Eternal. Terrible. Great game. But what of the 4chan detectives? Oh, what the fuck? 4chan is like actually the best detectives on the planet. No, Twitter detectives, obviously garbage. TikTok detectives should be locked up in jail ASAP. Reddit detectives miss every single time, but at least they're not TikTok detectives. 4chan gets it right almost every time. 4chan's like actual Benoit Blanc level. When 4chan decides to pick up a case, I'm usually like, yep, they'll catch him in the next 24 hours. And it'll probably be very accurate. What's something 4chan found? I always cite this one because it's so fucking cool. Anyone remember Shia LaBeouf's He Will Not Divide Us stuff, and then he planted that flag in the middle of nowhere with the perpetual live stream? Well, 4chan found that flag by using airplane patterns that were flying over during the live stream, and they were able to triangulate its position and find that flag. Actual nuttiness. Also found that teen that threw the puppies into the river. Oh, yep. They also found that, I think it was an Antifa guy, who was hitting people with bike locks. I think it was 4chan that caught that guy, too. Yeah, no, like, they are unironically incredible detectives. It's crazy, like, it is actually crazy how, like, often they are right on the money. We gotta see the Shia LaBeouf one. Didn't Internet Historian make a whole video on how they found the Shia LaBeouf flag? I'll just do 4chan Shia. Yeah. It's in this video, right? From Internet Historian? I'm pretty sure it is. But even if it's not in that one, there's this one for it. This was such a big deal when they did it. "4chan can't beat the best GeoGuessr guy." That GeoGuessr guy is kind of next level. But the GeoGuessr guy would only come into the investigation after they have, like, photo evidence of, like, a general location of where they think he is. Then the GeoGuessr guy can come in and tell you exactly the street, country, town, whatever that is taking place in. But they need that photo first. If they don't have that information, then he's not going to be helpful. Thanks to the bits, Happy and Tori, and the Prime person. And Reset Bless. Him plus Joseph Joestar would go crazy. Ooh, the GeoGuessr guy? Watch To Catch a Predator? We've already watched the entire series. And also Hansen vs. Predator. I've seen every single episode. I love that shit. That content just never gets old, but I've seen it all now. There's the bits, Halo. Brian posted his location on 4chan. No, chat said that he posted that he's hiding in a Pennsylvania forest. I don't think he, like, gave his full location. Could this be Brian posting on 4chan forum all this time? Here's, like, a single tweet from a random account. Oh my fucking god. Maybe, or it could just be somebody RPing. The guy actually was caught in PA, though. I don't know if that was, like, common knowledge. But he was also caught at his parents' house. Not exactly just in, like, a shithole in the woods. The house was in the woods? His parents' house was in the woods? I don't know why they'd put this information in here, but I'm just very curious now. Jesus. I tell you, always the people you least expect. This guy actually couldn't take a picture without looking like a psychopath. Have they heard from the parents yet? Well, this doesn't even mention his parents' house. Or actually, he could have said family's house, maybe. Oh. Nope. I'm still just going to go out and say probably unlikely that that was him on 4chan posting. His parents' house is in a gated community in the woods of PA. So the opposite of a shithole, but it was in the woods. How'd they find out he was the killer? They traced the Elantra. They're looking to speak with the driver of the 2011-2013 Elantra that was spotted near the victim's house. So they honed in on that detail, connected it to this guy, and then connected other dots. Became their prime suspect. Does he give some biscuit in the prime rifo? I doubt it, Tori. I don't think so. Motive? Psychopath. Probably not mentioned here, but he made a Reddit post talking about crimes and like how crimes make you feel when like committing a crime. Like he was trying to take a temperature and get people to answer. So it seems like just an absolute psychopath who wanted to know what it felt like to kill people. A few months ago, I watched what had to be one of the wildest encounters I've ever seen. This is a vigilante predator hunter group that was busting the person they were investigating in public. And this goes completely Insano style. It becomes cartoonish. It's almost like a Benny Hill chase scene here. I couldn't believe what was unfolding in front of me.
I am currently looking for my fiber.
Your what?
Fiber.
Fiber?
Yeah, because I gotta poop.
You gotta poop?
I'm constipated. I've been constipated.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is a very interesting tactic. This is a high-level maneuver. He is claiming that he's not there at the meat spot for a 13-year-old boy. He's there to get some fiber so he can take a shit. He's been constipated, so he's there for some poop pills. And it doesn't take some galaxy brain genius to put together the puzzle pieces here, connect the dots, and deduce that he is on meth. You know, he's getting loopy off that poopy right now. He is high on meth, which isn't just speculation. At the end of the video, they released their entire investigation, screenshots of all the text messages that were exchanged between this guy and who he thought was a 13-year-old, and meth comes up a lot. Even right before meeting, meth was discussed, and as you can see in the title, he was arrested, and they did pretty much confirm meth was in his system.
Hey man, I can involve the police or we can have a conversation. You want to have a conversation?
Sure.
Do you want to turn around and talk to me?
I gotta find this first.
Hey bro, I can call the cops right now, or we can just have a conversation.
I'm actually really constipated. Sir, please, can you actually let me get my supplements so I can actually go home so I can poop and actually so I can poop well?
Step 1 should have been involving the authorities the second you found a real pedophile that was trying to meet up for sex with a 13-year-old and, like, get them smoking meth or whatever. I don't understand why that wasn't the first thing you did. Luckily, there's spoilers in the title, so you know he does get arrested, but not for the reasons of this investigation. Some crazy shit happens towards the end. Had he involved law enforcement earlier, even from the start, I feel like this could have been far more effective. It seems like the first thing he did when he identified a real pedophile was try and figure out how to monetize it and make a viral video out of it or something. Because he gets like 2 different cameras out. He's got like the fucking Steadicam. He's got so many cameras set up. He's got like the GTA cinematic angle going on here. So it really feels like the #1 concern was trying to figure out a way to monetize it. He also has like calls to action in the video to subscribe to his channel. He's got the People vs. Pred watermark. This shit is branded out of the wazoo. So it does really feel like the #1 thing he was looking for here was a way of making money off of the bust, which is kind of weird. It is still good that this does lead to an arrest, but I really do wish it was handled with collaboration from the actual authorities.
Can you help me find fiber pills? Can you help me find fiber pills?
Do you want me to call the cops?
Why would you want to call the cops for me when I'm trying to find my fiber pills?
I know why you're here.
Why am I here?
To meet my 13-year-old little brother.
Who is that? I don't know who that is. Who is that? I have no clue.
Christ, where are they hiding the fiber pills in this bitch? Like, goodness gracious, are they underground? This man's out here trying to locate fiber pills, and it's like trying to find pirates' buried treasure, apparently. But anyway, you can see he's really starting to tweak quite a bit now. Things are getting escalated. The man filming is starting to call the cops, which is something I feel he should have done quite a long time ago. But we're only just beginning.
Hey buddy, is this you?
Hey, you please.
Why do I have a picture of you? Is this
Why
you?
are you doing this to me?
Is this you? Is this a picture of you? Why do I have a picture of you?
Huh, what's this? What is it?
Why do I have a picture of you?
Oh my god, that's disgusting.
Why do I have a picture? Why do I have a picture of your ass?
Ew, 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 ew.
This guy's here to meet a 13-year-old boy for and to give him crystal meth.
Oh my god.
Negotiations crumble, diplomacy falls, and then things really pop the fuck off. So he shows him that he has a picture of this guy's asshole, and then we enter like the DPS check of the raid boss encounter here. So now he's chasing the pedophile around while shouting he's here to meet a 13-year-old boy for sex. The predators start shouting. Everyone in the shopping center is confused and maybe even a little frightened from this sudden explosion of yelling and all of that. And we also get close-ups of the meth molester's head, and it seems like he has a lot of dandruff. Not that that has anything to do with anything at all, it just struck me as, wow, That's a lot of dandruff. So he might want to pick up a bottle of Head & Shoulders on his way back to the poopy pill aisle.
This guy right here is here to meet a 13-year-old boy and to give him crystal meth.
Okay,
sir.
what's happening?
I'm trying to find you. Do you know where the fiber pills are?
Call the cops. This guy's here to meet a 13-year-old boy for. Don't touch me.
Sir,
don't touch me.
Why? Stop.
Don't touch me and don't put your hands in front of my camera, bro.
Stop.
Who the are you? Stop.
The cameraman here is really coming across like a combative asshole. Obviously, the store employee doesn't know the situation. He's not fucking omniscient. All he sees is two people screaming in his store while one of them has multiple cameras set up like he's out here trying to film a 360-degree music video. So he's just trying to get in the middle of this and like, hey, can you de-escalate it? You know, take it anywhere else. And for some reason, the Predator Buster is now starting to get mad at this guy who's just doing his fucking job. Like, he's done nothing wrong. He doesn't know what's happening here. He's just trying to de-escalate the situation.
This guy's here to meet a 13-year-old boy for. Get in front of my camera again, bro.
Because you're not.
Get in front of my camera again.
You don't have permission to film your camera here.
Who the f are you?
This is.
Who are you?
You need to leave.
Hey, buddy, get the f out of my way. Get the f out of my way.
Sir, you gotta leave my store.
No, I don't. Call the cops.
This guy seems like he was closer to fighting the store employee just doing his job than he was to fighting the actual pedophile that he was there to bust. This shit is crazy.
Why is this happening?
Why are you here to meet a 13-year-old boy?
Why would I do such a thing?
Then leave. Go home.
Can you let me find my fiber pills?
Oh, your fiber pills?
Where's the fiber?
Just when you thought it was starting to wrap itself up, this fucking guy goes back looking for fiber pills. He goes back to the fucking fiber pill aisle and keeps the whole song and dance going. We're in Act 2 now. It is incomprehensible, the shit that is unfolding here. I can't believe that this actually is a real thing that happened and isn't some like staged, scripted fucking piece of, I don't know, fiction. It's unbelievable.
Why are you here to meet a 13-year-old boy?
Why are you here to harass me?
Why are you here to meet a 13-year-old boy?
Are you trying to prevent me? No, I'm gonna stop.
Point 235. Focus.
I'm a weirdo?
Yeah.
Why do I have a picture of his asshole if I'm a weirdo? Why do I have a picture of his face? Look at it. Why do I have a picture of his face if I'm the weirdo?
Some of the other people around him start calling him a weirdo, the guy filming, to which he takes great offense. So he goes over to prove that he's not weird. So he goes and says, if I'm a weirdo, why do I have a picture of his asshole? Checkmate. Regular old Saul Goodman over here defending himself. I can't be weird, I have a picture of his butthole right here, look at this. He takes his phone around like it's show and tell. He passes it around saying, hey, look, I'm not weird, look, this is his anus. I don't know what the strategy is there. He could have easily explained, I'm conducting an investigation, this guy was trying to meet up with my 13-year-old brother. That's a lot more easy to understand than like, hey, I'm not weird, this is this guy's ass. Like, I don't know what the thought process was. I think he was so lost and deep in fight mode that he was just trying to like get aggressive with everybody, even just completely innocent people that didn't understand what was happening.
Trying to meet up a little kid from the internet?
I saw a comment that perfectly described how this part in the parking lot plays out. They said he's acting like he's the 13-year-old boy running away from a pedophile. And that is so accurate. He's running around like hysterically screaming and just going absolutely ballistic. He runs in a circle and then even lays on the ground for a little bit, kind of wiggling around.
Can I just go poop? Ah! Ah!
Oh my god, it gets even better!
The pedophile is high on meth and operating a vehicle, and it goes about as you'd expect. He immediately peels out and fucking blasts himself like right over like a small little tree and some bushes. It really looked like it was about to take flight. That was some shit out of Need for Speed, honestly. Like, god damn.
Oh my god! Whoa, hit and run, call the police! Call the police!
Immediately after vaporizing a tree and destroying that like area of bushes, he peels out once again and manages to hit one of only 2 potential obstacles in the entire fucking parking lot. Someone else's car. He goes by and hits someone else's car. There is literally only 2 cars in this entire fucking parking lot. It is actually more impressive that he managed to hit something. Like, I don't even fathom how he could have fucked up even worse. It's unbelievable.
Just call the police, guys. I got the tags. Call the police. Call the police. Call the police. Call the cops, bro. I got the video. You don't need the video. Just call the cops. Tackle this dumb.
I always hate that fucking mentality. Hey, someone else call the police. I'm busy recording. No. I'm recording, so someone else call the police to handle this. There's only a handful of situations where that makes any sense, and that's when there's already a large group there. Then having a video of the situation can be helpful to the overall thing. So you could have one person video while someone else is calling the authorities, but in this case it was just him for the entire thing right up until the very end. He should have been the one to call the police, but didn't. And the predator makes another inexplicable decision. Instead of leaving, he instead pulls up to the front of the store he just ran away screaming from and parks it. He just drops that shit right in front of the store he just left and then gets out to try and run back into the store, which I don't understand at all. He's treating it like this was some kind of safe zone or something. And as he gets out of the car and tries to run back in the store, he gets tackled by a good Samaritan who had just seen the hit and run. And everything that unfolded in the parking lot. So he gets tackled by that guy, and it's like a Goldberg spear. That is a great form textbook tackle. And then the cops do show up to arrest him.
Yeah, that's the one thing, sir.
Come on, man.
The cops go through his things. They find a pipe. They find a lot of stuff. They arrest him for the driving, DUI. They don't seem super interested in the predator catcher's investigation and what he's talking about. They don't really pay too much attention to that. Instead, they arrest him for, of course, the way he was driving the vehicle. Now, I've mentioned this numerous times over the years. I'm not really a fan of vigilante predator hunters for the simple reason that 9 times out of 10, the pedophiles that get caught in these operations don't face any real repercussions other than like a video being made about them. But law enforcement can't use the investigations because they're less than professional, meaning the predator doesn't spend any time in the slammer, they don't go to jail, which allows them to continue preying on children in their communities. Now, I do think there are extenuating circumstances, like for example EDP. EDP may have not gone to jail, but that video that was made about him by the, fucking Gotham Knights of Predator Catchers did a great service to the whole community because it exposed him for abusing his platform, trying to meet up with children, and even if he didn't go to jail, it still took away his access to more potential victims. So overall, it was a positive thing, though ideal outcome would have been him also going to jail. In this case, the video we just watched, this predator probably would have never went to jail had he not operated the vehicle while high on meth and caused a massive commotion there and hitting multiple things. Had he not been driving that recklessly and high, he probably would have never seen any jail time for the investigation conducted by this channel. So it's just one of those things where, yes, it is good to expose the predators, but I really wish it was handled in collaboration with law enforcement, so that way not only would they be exposed publicly, they would also face the jail time associated with the crime. But yeah, anyway, this video was wild, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit today. That's about it. See ya. I'll be honest, I don't usually cover topics like what I'm about to touch on today because it's extremely serious. Usually the stuff I cover is things to point and laugh at, throw tomatoes at, say boo, stinky, yucky, boo. Not this. This is horrifying. It's a story I haven't seen a ton of people mention, and I myself didn't know about it until a few nights ago where just some random chatter during stream mentioned it. And I looked it up, and the information was only a few minutes old. Like, I don't even know how that guy had access to it so quickly, unless he's like one of the chief investigators on the case that just typed it in the chat. But when I looked it up there wasn't a ton of specifics mentioned about the case. But I followed it over the last few days as more and more information has come to the public eye. It is truly evil. And to my knowledge, this is the first case where a live stream was used as an alibi in a murder case or anything of that magnitude. There of course has been cases like with Facebook live streams and even YouTube a couple times where horrible atrocities were committed live, but I think this is the only time that someone has tried to use a live stream to prove their innocence and act as a smokescreen to cover up their crimes. Now, the person I'm about to talk about hasn't been found guilty yet, but they have been charged with murder with overwhelming evidence. Extremely compelling and strong evidence. On December 18th in Ireland, a woman named Natalie McNally was stabbed to death in her own home. She was 15 weeks pregnant at the time of her death. And the person accused of the murder is a man named Stephen McCullough. He is a YouTuber as well as streamer. He mainly focused on toy reviews as far as I can tell, specifically seeming to be a big Doctor Who toy reviewer. So what happened is, on the night of Natalie McNally's murder, Stephen McCullough went live on his channel. And this live stream is still up right now. It's a 6-hour live stream. And this was crucial evidence to prove his innocence on this evening. Because how could McCullough have possibly killed someone when there's proof of him streaming from his home at the same time that the murder had taken place? So they eventually, after bringing him in initially on suspicion of being involved in this case, let him go. Because this live stream did serve as a pretty good alibi for him. Plus, this wasn't just streamed to 0 viewers, there were real sentient human beings with a pulse there to watch this stream, so should any of this information ever come to light, there would be a lot of witnesses saying, no, I was watching him stream, he was 100% at home. So that was his whole plan. And while this worked for a brief period of time getting him out of suspicion, it was an ephemeral victory because after the investigators combed through about 4,000 hours worth of CCTV footage, they kind of pinned his whole location. They got his whole itinerary here. They were able to track him around and follow him around like it was a fucking Sims character. So not only did they see him through the CCTV evidence, but they also have the account of the taxi driver. They even took notice of things like a yellow glove underneath a black glove while giving change to a bus driver. And with all of this, they had a really strong case against him being the murderer. But they still had that live stream to explain. Because again, there is a live stream that did span the entire course where all of this took place. So how the fuck does this happen? You know, is he David Copperfield? Like, what, 2 places at once? Is this some kind of prestige situation where he had like a twin or a clone of himself? The actual answer is it's far simpler than you would possibly ever think. The live stream was fake. Yes, the stream went live on his channel during this whole period of time, but it wasn't actually a live stream. It was a pre-recorded video that Stephen McCullough had recorded days prior in order to look like a live stream, to mimic a live stream, so that way it could be used as an alibi for him. And when you watch the live stream, which again is still up on his channel, there are so many alarming red flag moments throughout it, even from the get-go. So he mentions at the very beginning of this live stream that he's not going to be able to read chat for a variety of technical reasons. One of them being it would crash his computer, it'd freeze the computer, it'd ruin the whole stream because of all of these deep tech problems that he couldn't solve. Everything's gone cattywampus, so he won't be able to read your chat. More like, Doctor, who's talking? Because I can't see you, I'm not reading chat. He just keeps reiterating over and over and over again that there's going to be no chat interaction. Because obviously, since this is a pre-recorded thing, there is no chat for him to read or interact with.
Well, because this streaming software is kind of up the left, it means I can't check the live chat, which is a real shame. Can't look at the live chat for some bloody reason, because if I do, it makes the whole thing freeze and OBS just screws up.
And he just kept like explaining why he can't read chat, and then he started talking about like, well, I guess I could read it on my phone, but you know, I get addicted to TikTok when I'm on my phone, and that's a mess. So I've put my phone in timeout in another room, so I won't be reading chats there either, and that'd probably ruin my internet too anyway. So no chat tonight. You guys can talk amongst yourself. I don't even like live streamers who read chat, so no chat for me tonight. There's plenty of streamers who don't interact with chat, but to go this long and this in-depth on things that make absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever to explain why you're not going to be reading chat or reacting to donations is definitely a little odd. And there's plenty of other really alarming moments about this stream, especially looking back on it in hindsight. He keeps reiterating that he's live, you know, this is live, and he's staying inside all night. He talks about like drinking and driving, and he'd never drink and drive, which is why he's staying inside, drinking on stream live for his viewers to enjoy. He's playing GTA Vice City throughout the stream, and he's making comments about like how the police force is no longer like equipped to handle cases, and there's a rise in crime. It's in the real world he's talking about. It's all very fucking alarming stuff, but by far the scariest thing he says has to be this.
Yeah, that's physics. That's what would happen in the real world. Abso-fucking-notly. Abso-fucking-notly.
Completely out of nowhere, unprompted, he mentions someone named Natalie in a pretty menacing way. And once again, there's plenty of other things he says in here that are very scary, but I think this one is by far the worst moment. This has been 100% confirmed beyond a shadow of a doubt to be a fake live stream. When authorities seized some possessions, they found the actual video itself and concluded that it was filmed on December 13th or 14th. And also, McCullough himself has confirmed that the live stream was not actually live, it was pre-recorded, but insists that he was actually just drinking by himself alone that night. He completely denies the murder and insists that someone else may have been dropped off in a taxi near his home. This is referring to the CCTV evidence that they've gathered, pinpointing all of his locations throughout the evening. There's also other awful shit here as well. McCullough stayed pretty close to Natalie McNally's parents, and in one case even left his phone over at their house in order to like bug them and secretly spy on them to record their conversations to see if he was a suspect. So McCullough went to the McNally house, left his phone on record, and left, but returned 40 minutes later claiming to have forgotten it, and police were saying that this was an attempt to listen into their conversations to see if they suspected him of anything in this. I can't envision a world where Stephen McCullough is not the person who committed this crime. There is just an overwhelming amount of evidence against him. And he still doesn't have a real explanation for what the possible motive to faking the live stream would even be. Nothing that makes sense, at least. And then randomly dropping Natalie's name during it. I just cannot imagine that this man is innocent, but he hasn't been found fully guilty of being the murderer yet. But yeah, overall, a horrifying situation. I'm wishing the absolute best for the McNally family, and I'm hoping justice is served here. That's about it. So yeah. There is no documentary filmmaker on YouTube more talented than Oki. Every time he uploads, it's just like this wonderful event. So big, even my cat can't help but jump up here and watch some of his content with me. I think Oki's Weird Stories is one of the best channels on YouTube, and he recently uploaded another banger covering a story that I'm sure most people aren't familiar with. So I'm going to show you some clips from that. I am also going to put a link to his YouTube channel and Patreon in the description below. Go support him, please. I think he makes amazing content, and he's just such a great guy. He's super nice. Every time we've talked, he's been nothing but wholesome, and he's got these incredible ideas for the future of his channel, and I just can't wait to see them unfold. So definitely go check out his channel, and if you're feeling inclined to help him reach his goals, then check out his Patreon. It's all below.
Millionaire and computer hacker Daniel Beckwith had dug an elaborate network of tunnels underneath his Bethesda home because he believed North Korea was planning a nuclear attack.
What the fuck?
His body was found after.
Daniel Beckwith created a makeshift bunker and had another man help him dig tunnels underneath his Bethesda home.
He kept Askia Kafra captive there, and in 2017, that home went up in flames.
Jesus
On September
Christ,
10th, 2017, Askia Kafra died in an electrical fire while digging tunnels for a makeshift nuclear bunker underneath Daniel Beckwith's home. They struggled to navigate through Daniel Beckwith's home because of extreme amounts of debris and trash blocking the way. Before he succumbed to carbon
that
monoxide
sounds like a
poisoning,
4chan
Askia
home.
was only 2 steps away from almost certain safety, but the hoarding conditions of the home prevented him from making it out alive.
The entire situation is unresolved.
Askia Kafra.
How is it unresolved? This sounds pretty cut and dry. The dude was one of those outrageously unhinged doomsday preppers, like probably a gang stalker as well, thinking the whole world's out to get him and everything's about to end. And he must have fucking snapped and ended up killing him. How the fuck could this be an unresolved case? I mean, I guess we're just at the beginning here, so this is all just like the intro, but to me, like off rip, this sounds like a pretty classic case of someone with one of those mental illnesses just losing control and ending up killing someone.
At a young age, he displayed an aptitude.
Oh, I want to read that. That is some Reddit shit right there. I am a genius, AMA. Just read what I wrote. Just read what I wrote. I came off as sort of cut off. I can get a bit Sheldon-y. I scored the ceiling, IQ of 160 plus, standard deviation of 15. Usually, my IQ's usually been estimated in the 170s by my psychologist. Was this on like a Rick and Morty post or something? Jesus Christ.
He was so cringe.
What
Like
the
he was
fuck?
like, "Oh, I'm just like, you know, these psycho, like smart, like serial killer type people. If I want to get into just the craziest thing I ever did, it was."
Hold on, I don't want to read this. I mean, this is the kind of guy that would get made fun of on the board. Is this posted like as satire by him? I don't think so. If he's calling into a random phone show talking about this kind of shit.
And I'm gonna use this air gun to like shoot this raccoon in a cage, and like, you know, this is crazy. Like this is like legit psycho behavior. Like
One of
that was
the-
the most psycho thing he ever did. Sure.
One of the biggest indicators early on that someone's going to end up as some kind of serial killer is animal abuse, like the torturing of small animals and shit. That is a phenomenon that's been studied so many times, and there is a direct correlation between hurting animals when you're young and taking that to people down the line. That is like one of the most cut and dry correlations ever.
Like he wanted to come across as this crazy psycho.
And yet, for some reason, it still gets
like
dismissed
genius.
pretty often by law enforcement. You guys remember what was his name? Pushin Entertainment? I forgot how to say it now. He's the guy that would torture and kill cats on YouTube. He was a 15-year-old. That kid didn't go to jail. He got investigated. He's not in jail. And it's because they don't take it seriously. It's, oh, it's a kid, you know. It doesn't matter that he was torturing and killing the cats.
He was a strange kid, and that's an understatement, but he had taken a video of himself taking a syringe and extracting synovial fluid from his knee joint,
what
putting
the
it into
fuck?
like a shot glass or a small cup, and then drinking it.
Yeah, this is his computer and his work area. Yeah,
What
so
the
this is
fuck?
basically me standing in the
That's worse
doorway
than
of
Chris
my
Chan
bedroom.
taking a shot of his cum.
co-opted all of this
Police officers then searched.
Damn,
Daniel's
those
room.
penis emails,
Inside,
though.
they found a rifle,
Worth it.
the hood of a fire protection suit, several lockpicks, reverse-engineered ID cards, and keyloggers. They also found a list of social security numbers belonging to faculty members and students.
It was the most filthy, disgusting room I've ever seen in my life. I mean, there was stuff everywhere.
Daniel was arrested and formally charged with 5 counts of property damage, 2 counts of computer fraud, tampering with documents, and illegally possessing a firearm. After that, Daniel took to Reddit to do an Ask Me Anything titled, I am a 22-year-old who is going to plead guilty to a felony computer hacking charge in 5 days. When someone asked, what did you do? He responded with, I launched a huge, multifaceted attack against my university for nothing but lulz, involving just about every attack
God, what
in
a
the book.
fucking
I made the
loser.
university's IT department look like damn fools.
I mean, I guess pretty epic prank. Take that, university. Peak Redditor. I mean, this is some Reddit-ass shit.
Daniel inherited $2.6 million after his mother's death. With that, he began to invest in Bitcoin, and he made a fortune. In a now deleted Reddit
Holy
comment,
shit.
Daniel thanked the technology board on 4chan, G, for turning him onto Bitcoin as early as 2010. In a Reddit Ask Me Anything,
I am still so fucking mad, and I can't believe this came up in, what was it? It must have been 2012, maybe, yeah, probably 2012. I've mentioned this a million times, and I mention it every time it gets brought up. there was a post on the front page of Reddit that said, I strongly urge you to get into Bitcoin. And then another one like, Bitcoin has just hit $100. And I, as well as pretty much everyone I knew, was like, that's stupid. That's fucking dumb. It's never going over 100. It's worthless. Why would we ever do that? And I didn't put anything into it. God damn. So this was this seems about right, though. This seems like the kind of person that would actually put money into Bitcoin back then. You had to be out of your fucking mind to think it was a good idea. Jesus Christ. Just a random cringe lord loser doomer on Reddit was one person that just happened to put money into that fucking Bitcoin post. And it paid off.
I actually got a call, and it was an IRS investigator, and they were asking me about his Bitcoin account. They were basically saying that he was in possession of basically like $1.2 billion worth of Bitcoin. Around the time of the call, the Bitcoin were like $55,000 of Bitcoin, and he had $1.2 billion worth of them, like, you know, somewhere in the blockchain. That was around the time I found out that he had, you know, hired that kid, and he died, you know, in that tunnel. Working at his house in Bethesda.
On the site was a section dedicated to software developing and investing. One day, while watching the infamous farm bro, Martin Shkreli, live stream on the site, he first laid eyes on Daniel Beckwith. Daniel, who used the handle 3-alarm lamp scooter, impressed Saskia. Not only did he seem to be friends with Martin Shkreli, but he also claimed to be a multi-millionaire investor and hacker.
I still remember I never saw any of those streams, but I remember Martin Shkreli, for a brief period of time, had a whole Discord server that fucking worshipped him. Kai and I went in there one night because we were curious and just wanted to laugh at the clowns that were, for some reason, sucking the dick right off of Shkreli's body. And Martin Shkreli was sleeping on a voice call, and they were freaking out about how lucky they were to hear him sleeping. It was so unbelievably fucking pathetic. God, that whole community was awful. And when he did get arrested, I don't remember exactly what happened, but they were like, "No, this is outrageous. He didn't do anything wrong. What? Oh my God, this is blasphemous!" Fucking crying, losing their mind over it. It was a cult. Martin Shkreli's farmer bro. He's the guy that did like the 10,000% price hike on Fuck, what was it? What drug was it? I don't remember now. Insulin? Was it insulin? Yeah, I think it was insulin.
And I remember him saying that, you know, I thought it was kind of odd. Like, oh, interesting, this guy's a bunker. You know, what do you have a bunker for? And I remember him saying, you know, I've been building this for a while. You know, it's just to keep myself protected and safe in case of a nuclear war or a nuclear disaster.
With Daniel's
fucking
funding,
huge
they
red
bought
flag.
brand new tailored suits
Wow.
in preparation for their meeting with the Teal Fellowship manager. All they had to do was make it to the meeting on time and make a great pitch. But unfortunately, that didn't end up happening.
I don't remember how, but we somehow end up putting in the wrong address. But we end up going to the wrong location. At that point, we're just like, we're just freaking out. You know, we don't know what to do. And we get to the meeting and we're about maybe 15 minutes late.
Why a red flag? He isn't wrong. Is that bait? Hey, excuse me. I've got to go back down to my bunker for my canned food just in case of a nuclear war breaking out real quick. Are you serious? That has to be bait. That's like actual gang stalking behavior. There's nothing wrong with being prepared. I think there's a level to it. When you're building an underground network of tunnels and a bunker because you're afraid of a nuclear war going down at any minute, that is a mental illness.
I'd literally...
Oh my God. I can't tell what's bait and what's not. I don't think that's crazy. There's nothing wrong with being generally anxious about things. I have a flying phobia. It's irrational, and I recognize that, but it's a phobia, right? I think that's totally fine to be like, I have a fear of nuclear bombs going off at some point. But then it has to be this barrier, like this filter in your mind where it's like, that is a little irrational. Maybe I shouldn't build a fucking multi-million-dollar bunker because I'm afraid of this disaster happening. And maybe I shouldn't be wearing a bulletproof vest anytime I'm out in public. It's not crazy at all. Do you go outside in a bulletproof vest every day? Might be multi-purpose bunkers. Also work for general apocalypse scenarios. What in the world is wrong with you? What do you mean? There is a problem when your entire life is revolving around a fear. So much so that you're building a bunker to avoid the imaginary boogeyman of an apocalyptic scenario unfolding where you need this bunker to be the last human being on Earth with your canned food and prepping and wearing a bulletproof vest anytime you're out in public. That's not even a hot take. That is a problem. I get shit for being afraid of going on a plane, and rightfully so. I get that it's irrational. How in the fucking world can you possibly try and justify a man spending so much on this bunker and wearing his bulletproof vest out in public, and then eventually hiring this man to dig out the underneath of his house for an underground network of tunnels because he's afraid of North Korea nuclear bombing his house? That is like schizophrenic behavior. That goes above gang stalking.
He asked me to stop the car, and he jumped out the car and went by somebody. He came home afterwards, you know. But you see, you also, as a father, you have to be careful that you run off a child permanently. Many things I told him, he would rebut it and tell me Beckwith was competent at that, Beckwith was competent at that. It was like Beckwith was a Superman. It was so...
It's crazy what you can ignore when you have that much respect for someone.
I remember definitely the first time around, I just started screaming to all the neighbors, you know, help, help, fire, fire.
What were you thinking was going to happen to him at that point?
I was hoping he'd either run out there or he'd go out the back window.
This big window
window there, or the window well.
Well, this one's got bars on it.
Well, that's not the window. Yeah, that one does have bars on it on the side. I don't think he could get out there. That doesn't have
bars. He put bars on his... Well, of course he put bars on his windows. He's got a fucking bunker and tunnel system.
And then there's that window
for
well.
nuclear war.
I thought he also could have got out there.
Of course he barred his windows.
Well, preferably, he would have just gone down into the tunnels and gone out the backyard.
Why didn't he do the obvious? Come to my voice. I am on the safe side of the basement. There's not much smoke on my side. There was a door there. He indicated that he went...
Yeah, I mean, I think this is absolutely a murder.
Wasn't it possible?
I completely agree with the dad here.
Daniel said that he tried to get inside the house to save Askia, a total of 4 times, but that he was driven back by the overwhelming heat. During his attempts to enter the house, he said that he removed a propane tank, gas cans, and other combustibles.
On the way out, you told me originally that you took a couple of gas cans.
Yeah,
but I never found those.
Well, one was supposed to be in the front yard and the other was on the side.
Okay, so I didn't get that. So
somebody might have walked off with them. Jeez.
Okay.
I'm no expert here, but this looks like some absolutely fucking terrible acting that I'd see in like a bad Hulu original like The Grim Cuddy. What? Someone must have walked off with one of the gas cans that I was put in the front yard? Jeez.
He said that
I will say, and before we continue, people are asking, well, why would he kill him? Clearly this guy is unhinged. I think that much is very obvious. He's very worried that everyone's out to get him. He wears the bulletproof vest when he's out in public. He duct tapes Askia's eyes, or, well, blindfolded him to get him to the tunnels. Duct tapes his eyes so that way he's blind when he goes outside for fresh air because he's afraid Askia may turn on him at some point and tell people where his bunker is. So I think what may have happened is he got this fucked up idea that Askia was plotting to reveal his location or turn against him, and he killed him for it. That would be my guess. How in the...
I could have picked him up and taken him out. I was so close. Well...
How could anyone watch this and think for even 1 second this wasn't a murder? That is not how anyone would respond to a situation like this. No, this is like worse than YouTuber apology level acting. Naturally.
I think the screwed up part about it is even if, you know, we got what we wanted, like if he was put away for life, that would only be a semblance of what I feel like we could consider justice, because it's not going to change the fact that Askia is gone. You know,
never does, but
We can't.
At the very least, it gets this guy
been denied
out
the rest of his life because of somebody else's.
Then he can't do it to anyone else. Because I mean, according so far to the story, Esquia wasn't the only person, right? He mentioned, was it the Dick Rocket guy? Someone else had also worked on the tunnels. It wasn't just Esquia that Beckwith had convinced to lend aid to. And then there was also the construction worker that we didn't get to hear from, but it wasn't just Esquia. The unfortunate name, well, not an unfortunate name, Dick Rocket's a fucking hype name. Just unfortunate in the situation here because it's a super sad story.
Daniel, I'm gonna put a measuring cup full of money out on the front porch so we got it on the way out, okay?
This place is so creepy, yeah. Because he was just a filthy, hoarding lunatic. So, okay, this is a misconception going on right now. He's not a billionaire. He had $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, but it doesn't seem like he ever cashed it out. So I believe, Oki said, at the time of this, he had about 16 million in actual cash. But he had the $1 billion worth of Bitcoin somewhere that he never cashed it out. So he's not actually a billionaire if he doesn't have access to it. And it looks like he never cashed it out. But yeah, multi-millionaire. Very, very wealthy.
Right now, 2 more stories you need to know about as we head into this week. A bizarre case will finally come to an end tomorrow. Daniel Beckwith is set to be sentenced.
Now, I want to let you know,
that is great news.
Murder. The judge at the sentencing gave him 9 years. 1 less than the minimum. Gave him 9 years.
What the fuck is the point in having a minimum sentencing when it comes to a crime? What the fuck? The reason the minimum is there is that it's not supposed to go lower. How can you just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna disregard that? I don't... What? How does that make any sense? I don't think he paid off the judge. It doesn't seem like he had access to his money. That makes no fucking... It's a goddamn law. Like by giving less than the law dictated minimum, wouldn't that be breaking the law from her? What? Can that happen?
What about my feelings? Don't I matter? You know? You are praising this gentleman who did a criminal act, who 12 jurors believe committed...
Okay, how about this? Even if he didn't kill him on purpose, which I really do still feel he did... What the fuck does he offer society? He walks around in a bulletproof vest and hires people to work on an underground bunker in complete secrecy, blindfolding them, refusing to let them outside with their eyes open without giving them duct tape glasses, and just sits in his fucking hoarded, shit-stained, diaper-filled house. What is he offering to society? But he doesn't even offer money. He doesn't spend his money. Half of his money was in fucking measuring glasses. He doesn't even fucking spend it. That makes no sense. That actually makes no sense. Now I am starting to believe the conspiracy that he did somehow pay off someone somewhere. That makes no sense. No sense. Even if, again, you don't find him guilty of killing on purpose, or what was he charged with? The depraved heart manslaughter? I'm getting charges mixed up. Even if you don't find him guilty of that, saying that he has a lot to offer society, so I'm not going to give him the minimum. But he, for the last fucking 20 years, has done nothing but live in a hoarder's house and build an underground network of tunnels because he's afraid of a nuclear fallout. Jesus Christ. But I'm starting to believe more in the briberies thing. Because, again, he had tons of money. He never spent any of his money. Maybe he dumped it all at once into this.
Why was Daniel able to enter the basement several times during the fire and roam freely enough to remove gas canisters?
That's a great fucking question.
I also don't understand why Daniel told him to escape through windows, which mostly had steel bars on them.
And that's what the father
instead
mentioned.
Of directing Esquia safely to one of the doors that he testified he had used repeatedly.
I don't know, it was probably like years later that it really hit me that I'm not gonna see.
What a great fucking point here. I actually didn't even think about this one. Because he did confirm he went down there multiple times. He even said he removed those gas canisters, and that's in that interview. He's like, oh, one of the gas canisters should be on the front lawn. He's like, it wasn't there. Oh, geez. I mean, maybe someone must have taken it. That is a great point. If his exit was blocked by so much hoarding debris, how the fuck could Daniel go move around in there, maneuver things, and take freely just take some shit out. And again, guiding him to a window instead of just saying, hey, come with me to the door, that he is using repeatedly. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, he never made me feel like I was a loner, like an outcast.
Like I said, his earnest home in a box. That box has been there for 5 years. It has not been touched. It's in the same position. We have a pity there, a kind of shrine for him, with a large photo of him in his ROTC uniform and, you know, something saying love you to the moon and back. And there can be no closure.
No, there never is in something like that, man. Jesus Christ. Oh, wow. Yeah.
And as always, until next time.
Best documentary maker on YouTube, man. Oki kills it every time. If you're a fan of documentaries, absolutely go support his Patreon. Absolute bangers, nothing but. And he's a great guy. Man, that video made me mad, though. Not because of Oki. The story made me mad. That is very frustrating.